The number of passenger journeys in the United Kingdom have hit record highs, yet modernisation and electrification of our railways often lags behind our European counterparts. Furrer+Frey manage electrification works across Europe and believe that increased investment could provide faster, greener, quieter and more reliable trains. Jonathan Gibson sent us this from Cardiff.
Electrifying the main line between London and South Wales marks the biggest change to the Great Western Railway since Brunel built it. The first new trains have already been delivered, but other parts of the project have been scrapped. When the electrification scheme reaches Cardiff Central, it'll only be trains heading back to London that'll benefit. The extension to Swansea has already been cancelled. The government blames rising costs.
We really think it's time for the government to re-look at that decision.
Noel Dolphin is a director at Furrer+Frey, one of Europe's most experienced electrification companies. He blames the project's rising costs on short-term thinking.
If we look across projects across Europe, the real low unit rates are driven by a rolling programme of electrification, doing something regularly, slowly and steadily, really year in, year out reduces costs. Our unit rates in the UK, they're typically 3-4 times average prices in Europe.
That's a significant difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And in some cases, we've looked at projects in Europe where the UK is up to 10 times greater.
And we've got a couple of charts here that show how the UK compares to some of our key European counterparts.
So this is the percentage of our railways that are electrified. You can really see, in terms of the large European networks, that UK is really at the bottom compared to, say, France, Germany and Italy that have large networks like us.
And that explains the discrepancy in the cost between the projects in the UK and in other parts of Europe.
I mean, German costs are a fraction of the UK costs. There is a rolling programme of electrification over 40 years, so that's a really long-term investment. So their slow and steady programme really has made cost savings for them.
Building new infrastructure requires people with the right skills, and at this Cardiff college, the next generation of railway workers are training. But investing in skills doesn't come cheap, and the decision to scrap electrification to Swansea is making some people think twice about a career on the railways.
I think that has slowed things down. Recruiting people into the railway industry, we need to do an awful lot more to ensure that they're aware of what career opportunities there are for them. They want to know what's going to happen with investment, when it's going to take place, because of course they don't want to be trained for something that's not going to be there, and the jobs may not be available in Wales.
For passengers too, there are big implications. The scheme to electrify the main line through to Swansea promised faster, more reliable, cleaner journeys.
The whole of West Wales will benefit economically, and for people like me who are commuting, it would save a lot of time.
If it improves the service overall and improves the longevity of the service, just get it done really, and then get out of the way.
As well as being cleaner and greener, electric trains are also much quieter.
You don't get the same engine noise nearby. It should be a much smoother ride. Then perhaps more importantly is the benefits for the environment. So the electric trains at the point of use where the train actually travels are giving out no emissions, and the emissions generated in providing that electric are much more efficient than a diesel engine.
And I guess these are the traditional diesel ones.
Perfect example, as you can see here. It's probably quite hard to hear me over the noise of the train. If you had electric trains, it would be much smoother, much quieter. I wouldn't need to shout, and you wouldn't get the fumes being thrown out of the top, so we could all breathe some nicer, fresher air, I think.
The government recently announced it would ban the sale of all new diesel cars in 2040. Now there are calls for it to match that commitment on the railways.
I think 2040 is a really good goal to have the UK network electrified. I think we should take a lesson from some European counterparts and see how they've delivered those unit savings.